Greetings, fellow knights. I'm Chevalier, and I bid you welcome to the initial situation and guide of the Teutonic Order. The Teutonic Order is one of, let's say, high-level difficulty nations, not the highest, for example, not in the higher margin, but quite difficult, mainly because of the situation regarding Poland and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, as well as fighting Moscow in the north, Denmark here as well. In this patch, Denmark doesn't lose control over Sweden and Norway, so they're gonna be harder to beat as well, and facing opposition from the HRE nations, the Pomerania, the Brandenburg as well, so a little bit difficult, not that difficult, but still it requires you to have more better understanding of the game. So let's now look at the tabs, and we'll start with cash. We're gonna kill this, we're gonna actually mothball this guys here, and we're gonna send this guys here to get more cash into the Baltic Sea trade node. It's your choice where you send them, and where you want to get cash from, it's up to you. Send them whatever you want. This is good as well, it's up to you. Let's send them to Novgorod. It doesn't matter that much. If we go to the fort maintenance, we're gonna mothball all of them, and let's look at the forts. You currently have 4 forts: Memel, Königsburg, Ostrade, and Marienburg. Now, as much as I want to kill these forts, I do not recommend killing them. They're simply gonna buy you time. Like, Poland will declare war on you at some point, so I recommend keeping them in reserve, simply because it's gonna allow you to buy time, maybe get some sneaky attacks in, some retreating troops, get a little bit more war score, more war exhaustion. If it happens for you to be declared war on by Poland, this is the only way you can survive. Just play for time. Just play for time and get the least war score damage as possible. Take a least damage as possible. Like, there's nothing much I can say. If you're attacked by Poland, you're fucked. Now, let's look at the cash. So this is the cash, 8.22 ducats, maybe 8.5 if we get this here. With some merchant arrangements, maybe we'll get to 8.5. Now, this is good. A decent amount of cash. We're gonna build some more troops as well, so we're gonna have to leave ourselves a margin for error in our advisors. Now, let's go to the government tab. As you can see, we're a monastic order. We have the minus 24 maintenance, plus 1% tolerance through fate. We cannot upgrade ourselves from a monastic order. That's bad as well. Though there should be an event, I'm not sure. I look at the wiki, of course, before I started this, and there's an event that allows you to become an archbishop, but it's not valid for the monastic order. It's only valid for the what's it called, the theocracies. So basically not for the monastic orders, only for Salzburg, for example, which is a bishopric, but not for the monastic order. So you don't confuse them with this. So it's not possible to upgrade your government. It's not possible to change your government. That is bad as well. As for national focus, we'll talk about this when we go further ideas. Now, let's look at the estates. Right now we're at 60, 66, and 45. It's shit. I'll admit, there's nothing much here that you can get your hands on to get a little bit more on from cash. To get a little bit more on from this thing. Clergy has control, even a lot of control. If we look at here, this is really bad, the control they have. Same goes for the nobility, though the nobility is a little bit lower. Because we are theocracy, they have more control than they should have. So if you want to, I recommend killing some of this control. Perhaps in Wamia or in Numark, for example. Kill a little bit of the control when possible. If you want to do some more stuff, for example, they have how much here? It doesn't say, right? Yep, but yeah, it says 11.5% control, so it's gonna allow you to get one more of these guys. So for the start, I recommend getting Inquisitor. I would like to get a Minister, but it's not that great. It's not possible, not great. This allows you to get more points. It's always better to get more points. So getting a Minister Inquisitor is gonna get it 76, so that's about it. For the burgers, again, getting this up to this is gonna get you up to 80, basically, just up to 80. If you'd like, oh, this is part of the burgers. You can actually remove some stuff from the burgers as well. So remove, for example, Kilmo from the burgers as well. Again, it's recommended simply because it's gonna lower their overall shit. It's bad, but it's good as well. You can use the what's it called, the buffer here, to actually get some of your influence lower, to lower their influence. It should be done, and there's nothing you can do about it. You should do it as soon as possible. So if you want to do this with the reduce, you can actually take a minister, and it's gonna get you 80. Same for here. You can actually go for the theologian, and you can lower them as well. As for these guys, they are fine. They're quite fine. You can get the minister here. You can actually call a diet as well, or grant a generalship. It's up to you. My recommendation is to grant a generalship. These guys are at 60%, so you're not gonna be able to do anything that grand. If you actually just call a diet, you're not gonna be able to get the max, get 150 points from military points from here. So it's not that great. But if you go for, let's say, the call diet and the grand generalship, it's pretty much the same stuff. It's just the recruiter is actually it's gonna give you a 75, sorry. So you can actually go for the call of diet and grand generalship, but you're not gonna have the minister. So it's up to you. Either you get the points from here, or you get the points per cash from here. It's just the way it is. So right now we have plenty of advice that we can choose from. Depending on the way that you go, just pick a guy that has to do. So let's say we're gonna go for the yearly inflation guy. Probably go for the theologian as well. It's up to you. We're gonna go for the better relations over time guy here, and we're gonna go for, let's say, I don't know, 4 defense actually. Oh, it's a +2, no. There's a no on the 4 defense guy, so +1 here as well. So we get a decent amount of points per stuff. Now, for your air here, it's gonna be randomly assigned. If you actually do this for a second here, there you go. You have this shit here. You can actually gain your stuff. Now, you can play it whatever you want, but my recommendation is to lower your devotion, so you can switch from a monastic order to a monarchy, so you can become the HRE emperor. We're gonna go over this in a little bit, and also in the guide to your expansion. Now, basically, you want to lower your devotion. Devotion is lower by having low stability and what was it? Low stability and by events, if I'm not mistaken, and prestige as well. Prestige gets your it up, and power projection, but power projection is 0 for the points, so it's better for you to get the points than the minus devotion. But to go for the minus devotion, whatever you can. It's good for you to get, say, a merchant son right now, simply because you're gonna gain the cash. Also, before you do this, try to check this as well. This is just my recommendation. You can actually go for this as well and try to maximize them to some degree and try to use this to your advantage. But usually I just go for the merchant son because I get the -5 devotion and the cash. You can also, there's another one that gives you minus devotion. Okay, you can go for a local noble. It's gonna give you prestige, and it's gonna give you minus devotion, but cash is better than prestige, at least at this point in the game. You want to build some more ships, some more troops. It's better for you to get a cash. So for a merchant son is the best, and you get a 401. I've played this quite a while, and actually, if I do this, kill underline air, Teutons. This guy died. We're gonna go for the event again. You'll see that usually a talented theologian is gonna give you more stuff. I ran this event a couple of times, and usually talented theologian is gonna give you more stuff. So if you actually go for this, it might be better, it might be worse. honestly, you never know. It's random stuff. I haven't checked the events, though events is gonna say an average or an above average or something like that in the events. I'm not sure if it's actually possible. Let's actually roll it again. Go for this again. See, it depends on the roll. Again, yeah, you might want to check out or go for the wiki. Usually, Italian Theologian gives you better points, but Son of a Merchant, I ran it before this for a little restart and see how it is, and it gave me a 555. So, actually, let's do it again, so you should see. Merchant Sun, 5 to 4. Merchant Sun, 165. So, it depends on the roll, to be honest. Though both Merchant Sun and Talented Theologian is good. I do really want you to lose the Devotion, simply because you're gonna tank your stuff. Actually, if I run the event a couple more times, you'll actually see. Okay, and you're actually gonna run this again. We'll go for Merchant Sun, and let's actually go to speed 2. And we're gonna run the event again. Merchant Sun, run the event again. Merchant Sun. I have to do this a couple of times. Should have actually prepped it, to be honest. And we're gonna tank it quite a while. And it's a little bit annoying, but you can also check out the stats of the heirs as well. Let's look at the stats and see what we got. 5 to 5, 3 to 5, 554, 542, 144, 121. Yeah, it's above average if I say so myself. It's a 111, so yeah, it's above average. I'll say with this guy is over 10 points or around 9 points, so above average. Though depends on the luck, but you rarely go for crappy guys. Yeah. So you really go for crappy guys. Now, well, regardless, I'm gonna go to speed 2 and go for the next stuff. Okay, this doesn't matter. Well, the polo might attack us soon, so actually, I'll turn it at the end. So, if you have low devotion, a Ven might fire. That is gonna switch your government from monastic order to monarchy, which is really good. We can run this event as well, or however we want. We already talked about economy. Let's talk about alliances. Now, it's better for you to become part of the HRE. Like, oh wait, tons, like huge amount of better if you are part of the HRE. To do this, you must have relations with the Emperor at 159. So you can actually join your lands, then you can join your capital. You're gonna join Danzig first, or actually Danzig, and then and your capital of Königsberg. Now, being doing this is really tricky. Now, you're first gonna have to save cash, so try to save as much cash as possible. You cannot do this if you take a loan, so it's gonna be really difficult. You're gonna have to pay Austria about 100 ducats, so you can get about 15 points. The second thing, you're gonna have to have the same rival as Austria. So basically, Austrian rival is Lithuania, you're gonna rival Lithuania as well, so that you get the plus 20. So you're gonna have the 100 from the improved relations, 25 from religion, 20 from same rival, so that's gonna give you 145. And if you play 100, if you give them 100 cash, you'll see here, it's a gift, 14 points. So it's gonna give you 159 on the dot, so you need 100 ducats to pay Austria to give them this gift, so you can actually become the part of the HRE. This is gonna safeguard you against higher target against the attacks of Poland and Lithuania. It's gonna give you a buffer shield. As of a couple of patches ago, it's impossible for you to get an alliance with Austria. You have too many modifiers that go for them. I tried to do some stuff. I tried to boost my what's it called? My forgot here, the modifier or the force limit up to about 40, 45 with mercs. It was doable. About 50 or something. I had enough troops to, and with the advisor here for deploy reputation, it was possible for me to get an alliance. But again, you're gonna bankrupt yourself doing this, so it's not recommended. You should probably restart a couple of times until you get possible rivals. They usually either rival Lithuania, though Lithuania might die from the PU with Poland, so that's not going to be good as well. They rival Bohemia as well. They might rival Poland themselves. They might rival Hungary. You can actually rival Hungary, as you can see. They might rival Denmark. Again, depends on your luck. I really recommend reloading this several times, simply because it's not going to be good for you if you're not part of the HRE. You're going to get wrecked by Poland in no time. The Poland-Lithuania alliance is really going to wreck you. So it's hard for you to do this without being part of the empire. Now, other notable alliances are Muscovy, Pomerania. It all depends on your actual rivals. So as for rivals, one is gonna be Denmark. One is gonna be the rival of Austria that you want to choose, and the second one, it's up to you who you want to take. Lithuania, Livonian Order, Poland, Pomerania, it's your choice. Hungary, although I would recommend getting Livonian Order and start attacking the Livonian Order, simply because they're an easy target to kill. They're gonna go down easily. They have lesser troops than you have, and you can expand up into Novgorod and kill Novgorod as well. My bad. So you can kill Novgorod. You can probably get an alliance with Muscovy as well, or don't get an alliance with Muscovy, or take advantage of the situation, make Novgorod your vassal, release some vassals here is possible as well. We're gonna talk about in the expansion here. Now, other islands that you can get usually are the rivals of Denmark, the rivals of Poland, the rivals of Lithuania, the rivals of your rivals, basically. Like standard stuff, rivals of your rivals, so you can actually attack them with those alliances. Now, trade-wise, you're in the Baltic Sea trade node. You have 42%, so it's the max. We are the primary guy here. Later on, you'll probably switch to Lubeck. I think it's up to you if you want to switch to Lubeck or not. Then probably to the English Channel trade node as the game passes. There's pretty much standard stuff. Yeah, there's nothing much to say here. Going to Genoa, it might be possible, I guess, if you do some tricks, go through hoops, and it's possible, become the HRE Emperor, declare war on one of these guys that took one of the land and courted the land, and then start expanding into that part. Again, it's possible. It's possible. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but it's not recommended. So just go west. Lubeck, the English Channel trade node. Even staying in Lubeck is good as well. You're gonna get a huge amount of trade cash here, but English Channel trade node is better. You're gonna eventually move against England at some point. Now, technology-wise, we're Western. There's nothing much to say here. Standard stuff. Boost technology whenever possible. Whenever possible, when you have the modifier, when you go to war, etc. Save this for standard stuff, for deploy idea, and take admin again with the modifiers. Just try to use the modifiers as much as possible, because they're gonna help you a lot. Now, here are the tricky parts, the ideas. It's really hard to tell you what you should go. Normally you are basically a landlocked nation, and with landlocked nations it's influence, admin, then whatever you want. Usually influence and admin, so you can actually save one points. This is going to allow you to become the HRE Emperor faster, and you're going to have the core incursion cost minus 25%. you're gonna get the minus 25% WR annexation cost. Is pretty standard here for the influence admin. Although it's possible for you to get for a military idea first, then go for, let's say, an admin idea, then last a diplomatic idea, and if you're lucky enough, go for exploration. There are plenty of ways to pull this off. The most standard is influence admin, or you can want to go, for example, for a military idea and go for I would recommend actually quality. I know that is not something that you usually can recommend at other size. I recommend going for offensive, but at some point you're gonna have to fight England. I mean, that's the way it goes. You're gonna have to fight England at some point, and the ship durability and the more of navies is gonna help you fight off England. Although, let it be noted that it's possible for you to depart in Scotland and bypass their fleet and just wreck England directly while bypassing their fleet. So you can actually take the stance here, move into Scotland, then go on land against England. So it's possible for you to go for the standard stuff, and that is the offensive ideas. Right, for the standard stuff for the medium nations, so offensive ideas for the medium nations. Again, it's up to you how you want to pull it off. Recommendation is standard stuff, influence admin. For high level players, you can go for military idea first. It's really gonna be good, although you're gonna be hard pressed to get the points for the admin points for the idea. Again, it's up to you how to pull it off. This is my two recommendations: influence and admin, or first military idea, then go for let's say either let's go for admin, for example, or influence, and or you should save your or diplomatic slot. Maybe you want to go for an idea here. It's possible though for you to take double influence ideas, double diplomatic ideas, and go for influence exploration again, or you can go influence admin exploration. It's up to you how to pull it off. It will be possible for you to colonize, although to what degree, it's hard to tell. It depends on your situation. Now, other than this, it's pretty sort of stuff. If you go for the influence and admin, go for a military idea as your third, or go for humanist and a military idea fourth. Other than this, it's up to you. It's part of the late game. It's up to you how you want to go. Again, you want to build tall, go for economic. You want to go more trade cash, go for trade. Again, it's up to you how to pull it off. You might want to go for double military ideas if you have the points and you want to focus on that military points. It's up to you how to pull it off. Now, for the missions and decisions, there are some flavor events for advisors and nothing that important, to be honest. Mission wise, you're gonna have some when you form Prussia, but still nothing that great. So you have three major decisions here. One is to form a German nation. It's quite simple. You have to have the admin tech 20, and you can form the German if you have the necessary cores. You're gonna form the German nation. You're gonna become an empire. You're gonna get claims, standard stuff. The second one is secularization. You'll switch from monastic order to what's it called? To admin monarchy. So that's gonna be good as well. But it's kind of late with Tech 20, so it's gonna take you all to get to Tech 20. It's not that great. The third one is reforming to Prussia, and it's gonna be available if you are Protestant or Reform. You have to own Königsberg, which is your capital at this point. So you already have Königsberg, and you have to have admin Tech 10. Admin Tech 10, you should probably hit it in the around the 1540s, 1550s, around the heat of the Reformation. You should probably have the Tech 10 as well, so you can form Prussia at that point. Now, this is all the things you have. We'll talk about some stuff. Although you might want to reform into Prussia, it's gonna be troublesome if you already had a HRE Emperor, so it's not gonna be good. It's gonna be troublesome if you want to form the German nation, because you're not gonna be able to become the Holy Roman, the HRE Emperor, I think, as Germany. Yeah, you're gonna be part of the HRE. I'm really not sure though. I haven't tried it. Although, you'll see at this point, usually you have three ways, like in Brandenburg: going to Prussia, remain the Teutonic Order, or going to Germany. Pretty much standard stuff. Now, for stability and expansion, I know this is not recommended. You might want to go to -1 stability at some point. Just do not reach your stability, simply because it's gonna lower your devotion. That's gonna allow you to switch from monastic order to monarchy a lot faster. So it's recommended for you to do that. And we forgot to talk about ideas. My bad. I went to national ideas. I forgot to talk about the Teutonic ideas. So the Teutonic ideas are this: cavalry commutability and discipline. Excellent. As a starting ideas, they are quite good. The discipline and commutability is gonna give you a pushing power against your enemies. It's gonna allow you to fight, let's say, to an upper class. Then you have the infantry cost and cavalry cost, not that great. You have the manpower recovery speed, decent. You have the infantry commutability, which is good. You have the missionary strength and yearly papal influence, which is good. You have the fort defense, not that great, and you have the missionary strength +1. Now you have the missionaries +1, and you have the tolerance of true fate +1, with the max being take cost -5%. Early on, they are pretty decent, I would say. As time goes by, this is gonna be good and this is gonna be good. So overall, they are quite decent. Again, quite decent, I would say. Later on, maybe you want to switch to Prussian, you get more discipline from the Prussian ideas, you get some more decent stuff. But overall, they're quite decent for you to go on killing, even if you don't want to switch to the Prussian ideas. So they're at the same tier, I would say. Maybe a little bit of a difference between the two of them, but at the same tier of ideas. Yeah, at the same tier to some degree. Now, let's actually go to religion, so you can actually defend of faith and stuff. You're Catholic. At some point, you might be forced, or you might want to switch to Protestant. Remember that you have, if you are one of the first countries that you can, if there are not three centers of what's called of reformation, you're gonna get one for yourself if you actually reform. So remember that as well. It's somewhat important because it's gonna allow you to convert your stuff faster, and it's gonna cause problems for your enemies as well, which is gonna be good. Other than this, there's nothing much to say here. Lower religious unity also kills your devotion. Remember this as well. So if you move into Novgorod, you might not want to convert those lands, simply because it's gonna kill your religious unity, which is gonna help you. And that is all about the religion. You also are Catholic and you can fight for the papacy, although you do not have a guy that can fight for the papacy. As you can see, Naples, Bourbon, Salamanca, Milan, France has 3, and we have one in England, in London. So there's not that much of a chance, although it's possible for you to get, if you have a theologian, it's possible for you to get an event that gives you a cardinal in one of your provinces. So remember this. There are some flavor events on those sides, so if you're a theologian, you can actually have a theologian, you can get a cardinal at a cost of I don't know what, 100 points or something like that. So it's doable. Now, military wise, this is, I'll say, a little bit tricky. You're gonna have about 150 ducats at the start of the game, with the decision to take a trader's son. You have to build 2 of these and 2 of these. So let's put on like this. So 2 cav and 2 infantry. That is gonna get you up to 16. On this side, galleys are recommended. So 4 galleys are recommended as well, and you're gonna be left with a small amount of cash. What, 60? You're gonna left with about 60 with 40. That's 60 with 50. You're gonna left with about 40 ducats in your treasury, and you'll have to save that cash for the bribe on the Austria, so you can actually become part of the HRE. Now, you can get some cash from this side here, from Grand Monopoly, from Ask for Contributions, and you're gonna be able to pay off Austria with that amount of cash, though it's gonna cost you loyalty, 10 loyalty, so it's fine if you're at 50, you can actually take this with no actual repercussions. Now, if you are, it's pretty much this is it. Now, let's talk about some more stuff. If you want to be a little bit more risky and you want to lose devotion really fast, it is recommended that you kill your heirs really fast. So basically just simply make everybody into a general and kill them really fast for the events for the lower devotion, so you can switch to a monastic order if you want to become the HRE Emperor. Now, as you can probably check this out in my video for how to become the HRE Emperor, you have about let's say 25 years, even less, perhaps 20 years, 15 to 20 years until this guy dies. Austria, in the first war that they get, they're gonna make him into a leader and he's gonna probably die. So I'm not sure if you're actually gonna be able to become the HRE Emperor at that point. If you can't become the HRE Emperor, you're not gonna be able to get the Book of the Inheritance event. Again, it's tricky, I know, it's annoying, but it's important for you to note that becoming the HRE Emperor and getting the Book of the Inheritance event is the most important part of any European nation. Like, this is gonna boost you a huge amount of stuff, a huge amount of development and a tax opportunity. You're gonna be in this trade out here. You're gonna get cash from this trade out. You can expand to the new world really fast. A lot and lots and lots of options that you're gonna have. So remember this. You can actually go for this, which is really gonna help you. But yeah, this was all of the initial situation. I really don't think I missed anything else. If you have any questions, you can post them in the comments. If you have recommendations for initial situation and guides, you can post them in the comments as well. I'm gonna go through them and do them as well. Another note, the new patch is gonna come up on the 11th, so a couple of days from now you're gonna get this on Tuesday. So right when this thing comes up, there are gonna be some differences to technology. You're gonna get some stuff with Dragon Sense, some minor stuff, but you're still in the Western tech, so you shouldn't be that much affected, to be honest. It's only primarily for these guys. That's why I did the Teutonic Order. I'll also do a campaign on the Teutonic Order starting with the expansion when it comes out. I don't have a code because I'm small and insignificant, so I don't have a code. If you want me to get codes, just, I don't know, subscribe or some shit like that. But yeah, this was the initial situation of the Teutonic Order. I hope you enjoyed this, guys. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing or liking the video, and I'll see you next time when I'll do the guide of the Teutons and how you should expand with the Teutons. And I bid you farewell. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. Ciao.